Hello, and welcome to Ear Training with Spock. This video contains two tests on all the intervals within the octave. But what's different about this test is they are going to be played on acoustic instruments as opposed to the generic piano sounds. Specifically on flute, clarinet, and tenor recorder. So this video is going to have a little bit of an orchestrational element to it as well. You get used to hearing the piano sounds over and over and over, and then when you hear real instruments playing the intervals, it gets a little more confusing. So I'm going to do a series of tests with winds and with stringed instruments instead of the piano sounds. The timbre of the flute is described as open, clear, and bright in the upper octave. But a lot of these tests are going to be in the bottom octave and a half, and the very lowest notes are somewhat dark. The tenor recorder is a little more woody, slightly more cartoonish. The clarinet, its timbre is a little closer to a saxophone. It's fairly woody in tone as opposed to bright, and in the bottom register it's somewhat dark. I won't be using vibrato. And then the next octave is a fair bit clearer. That's probably as high as we'll be going. As always, these tests are made on two levels. One for the beginning ear student, where you just want to listen to the different intervals, try to tell what they are. For the more advanced students, each interval will share a note in common or move by step to the next interval. And so you'll have to, instead of figuring out just major thirds, you'll want to come up with the notes C and E. And then the next one might be perfect fourth on E and A. Now these videos also incorporate an orchestrational element. The first test will be pairs of instruments, so 2 flutes, 2 clarinets, 2 tenor recorders. The second test is going to mix them up. Some of them will be pairs of instruments, some of them, each of the notes will be different, and so the answers will be presented, first the interval, major third, then the notes, C and E, and then what instruments are playing it. Clarinet on the bottom, flute on the top, or whatever the combination is. Hope you like it. Here we go. Good luck. Test number 1. All chromatic intervals in the octave, played on flute, tenor recorder, and clarinet. The C chromatic scale. Major sixth, the note middle C and A, 2 tenor recorders. Major third, the notes F and A, 2 clarinets. Perfect fifth on the notes E and B, 2 flutes. Minor second, the notes A and B flat, 2 flutes. Minor third, the notes E and G, 2 clarinets. Major seventh on the notes E flat and D, 2 tenor recorders. Minor sixth on the notes D and B flat, 2 flutes. Minor seventh on the notes B flat and A flat, on 2 clarinets. Perfect fourth on the notes E flat and A flat, on 2 flutes. Major sixth on the notes E and C sharp, on 2 tenor recorders. The tritone, augmented fourth or diminished fifth on the notes G and C sharp or D flat, on 2 flutes. Major third, the notes A flat and C, on 2 clarinets. End of test 1. Test number 2, all chromatic intervals in the octave, on mixed pairs of flute, clarinet, and tenor recorder. The C chromatic scale. Perfect fifth on C and G, clarinet on the bottom, flute on the top. Major second on G and A, flute on the bottom, tenor recorder on top. Perfect fifth on C and G, tenor recorder on the bottom, clarinet on the top. Minor third on E and G, 2 flutes. Major sixth, the notes D and B, clarinet on the bottom, flute on the top. Minor sixth, the notes D sharp and B, 2 tenor recorders. Perfect fourth on the notes E and A, tenor recorder on the bottom, clarinet on top. Major seventh on E and D sharp, 2 tenor recorders. Major second on C and D, 2 flutes. Major third, A flat and C, flute on the bottom, tenor recorder on top. Minor third on A and C, 2 tenor recorders. Minor third on A and C, tenor recorder on the bottom, flute on top. Minor sixth on C sharp and A, clarinet on the bottom, tenor recorder on top. Minor second on G and A flat, 2 flutes. Minor third on F and A flat, tenor recorder on the bottom, flute on the top. Minor seventh on B and A, clarinet on the bottom, tenor recorder on top. Perfect fifth, the notes D and A, tenor recorder on the bottom, clarinet on top. perfect octave on the note A, tenor recorder on the bottom, flute on top. Major seventh, A flat and G, flute on the bottom, tenor recorder on top. Major sixth, the notes C and A, recorder on the bottom, flute on the top. End of test 2.